Hey everyone, my name's Alyse. Welcome back to another video. Today we got my top 4 finish from the remote Duel Invitational Qualifier. We getting the run back. That's all I know. That's what's going on. I'm so excited. It's gonna be nice. Unfortunately I couldn't get past top 4 again. My loss was really stupid. But it is what it is. It's Yu-Gi-Oh at the end of the day. But yeah, today we played a really spicy deck. We played Striker. Again, I'm just kidding. We played Dragon Link. I can't make that joke. That's such a bad joke. But today, we get to do something special because I am not here alone. I am here with the person that makes every single one of my deck lists, is always there for me. The person that makes me have success. We're here with good old Justin Singh. Justin, say hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm a little tired and hungover, but yeah.
You know what? That's fine, Justin. That's fine. But
You
yeah,
did play Striker today. You did play Striker. You played Striker Dragon.
Yeah, I played Striker Dragon. So I'm only playing this deck because of you. Why don't you tell me about the deck a little bit before we get into the deck profile, if you want to say anything?
Okay, so basically, Ghost from the Past came out like a month ago or so.
Yep,
And,
about a month ago.
I kind of knew like Remus was already like kind of good in the deck, right? And
Yep.
I just every so in OCG they don't have LP, so they're playing like Glow and Atom and all those cards like extend to get the rhythm needed to the plays. And then I realized like us in TCG we don't need to play those cards because we have LP still.
Yep.
So then every like video I saw with like the deck was just always just playing like Atom, Glow, and all those cards, but they're just like actually not that good because you gotta play Mistleton and Glow, and like it's not worth it. So now I was like, okay, what can I replace those cards with? And then like I settled on putting like Needle Fiber and Napaloosa, and it helps the deck like so much. So if you guys have ever played regular Dragon Link, you know like how it starts off their play, either go in the Ramos sphere first, and then you go like do the LP play. But usually to combo, you usually have to do is like boot sector at the beginning to sometimes get to like that dragon before you make LP striker. Otherwise, you just end up like seal tidying pass. And I just thought that was really terrible. So the deck just like lacked. Yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think there was only one time today where I actually just went like seal pass. I think it was like usually there. Unless it was some weird ass shit, I always had a way to go into full combo. Like it was so easy to do so much of the time that it's like it just happened.
Well, if your hand's like that bad when you go to the path, you can always like still just go Rhymeless and just do the old Dragon Link combo, and you'd still like get them. So another thing about the deck too is that Draw and Lockbird is like really popular in the format. So I wanted to make the deck not relying on tidying. And the issue with Chamber, as like know you guys have heard Shu say it too, is that it's not a true starter, it's just a fundamental piece that gets you to tidying. So not only that, it plays into drill. So if I just have Chamber alone, I start my hand with Chamber, right? And I search tidying and they drill me. I'm already locked out of boot sector and I can't even, I have to open like really well with like World Legacy Guard Dragon to even advance my plays. Like even like World Legacy Guard Dragon alone, when you get drilled there, it's not good enough. You still need another extender because you wouldn't have enough dragons. So the idea is you add Remus to the deck, it gives you another layer, you can like special summon and get some more stuff with the deck. But a lot of plays that people don't realize why Fiber is so broken in the deck is that you can go Remus and a guy to make Fiber. Fiber specials out another Remus from your deck because Remus is a tuner. And you can revive the Remus from grave because you control Remus, because Remus is a Dragoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody like forgets that part. And yeah, sure, you're locked out of dragons from your extra deck for the rest of the turn, but like the only two cards in your extra that you care about that if you have to start the play with Remus like that is Needle Fiber and Napaloosa. So if you make the play that way, you just you make the destruction link to the whelp, and you can get to the guy that way.
We're playing Buster Lock, by the way.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we never said that. So yeah, we cut the tidying and we made it like a Buster Lock deck essentially. And yeah, it consistently Buster Locks. Oh, another reason why I like the deck too is that you can Buster Lock through Duel because the destruction short sends.
I've had to do that a couple times.
Yeah, it feels nice because like you beat like cards like Super Poly, cards like Talents are inherently worse, and all those cards are just like way worse because they're fundamental break your board cards. But if you play Buster Lock, you never have to play into any of those cards because they can't do anything. So yeah. So that's like the gist of the deck. Basically, make it less drill reliant, but you play like a whole different layer in your deck because you have Remus in your deck. So Ravine now becomes like not just like, oh, I can dub abs or like safer to get to levy or something like that. The deck becomes like a whole like other engine that can use Remus, which is nice.
Yeah, and like the thing is like the deck just gets so much gas, so like it's less grind reliant now, which is what the deck needed to do before, but now that you actually have secure ways to have gas, it really goes back to like how the deck used to play, and especially for right now when the like most people didn't have this on their radar or have like effective ways to take it on. It's really difficult for a lot of people right now to take care of it. Now that people are going to know about it, it's going to be different, but like especially for the events that we played in, because like Justin won a Starlight Pot tournament and just been doing really well in any tournament he's played in with the deck, and like I obviously got this top, so it's like the deck has been performing really well, and having that like extra little factor of surprise, even though it's already Dragon Link, definitely pushes it from like, you know, like here to here, you know.
The best comparison I would say is the deck felt like Dragon Link when we had Link Cross.
Yeah, so, that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
That's what it feels like now.
Yeah, plus really... like, we can secure Appo, which is really nice compared to like before. It's like you kind of secure it, but like not always.
Yeah, another cool thing about the deck is that you don't rely on making like seal as like a form of interruption.
Oh yeah,
you punish people for like holding Phantasme too, because a lot of people usually held Phantasme for 3 links. But you can actually just get to ROM, have like 2 dragons if you have like another extender past that. And like I know it sounds like, oh, your hand has to be crazy. Well, you got to remember in this deck,
it's not that hard to get to.
It's not that hard because like Remus itself is an extender. You can make Romulus or Needlefiber or Appaloosa with the Legatus too, because Legatus is also an extender and stuff. And when we go through the deck, I'll explain to you guys like why I ended up like cutting Gator at the end. If you guys have like want to know.
Oh yeah, that was a journey, all right. But anyways, I guess before we get into the deck list, we should do shoutouts first. For both of us, our shoutout would be good old Ophidian. We are both on Team Ophidian. They're super amazing. They have amazing products. They have a lot more cool stuff on the way, like dice, binders, sleeves, top loaders. They got like a little bit of everything. Like they got a lot of stuff in the works, and they just have really good, cheap, but amazing quality mats. So if you use code Ophidian5, you get 5% off, and you help support both me and Justin. So please do that if you are able to. And obviously my biggest shout out is Justin. Duh! What's a deck profile if I don't shout out Justin? And now he gets to be here for the shout outs.
Hey. Oh, and the last thing is like, the main reason why I'm super cool with showing the deck is that there's like no other like big event until after Lightning Overdrive. So the meta is going to be completely different. Yep. Because we're getting like 2 like huge decks basically. Like the enter like the Tribe gets way better, and then we get Drytron back. But Dragons actually gets like a lot more support, and people don't know about that yet. But I'm not gonna talk too much about that in case like we don't know what you might play for the actual invitational. But yeah, I know Lightning Overdrive is legal for that. If it wasn't, like, I would have kind of told you, try not to like.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, no, of course, yeah, it's just nice to actually be able to show off the deck now. But yeah, any other shout outs you want to give, Justin? Or
yeah, just shout out to Team Ophidian basically. Fun fact about this deck, like I was gonna play in the 3v3 LCS, but like Sunday was Mother's Day, so I ended up like canceling because of this stuff.
Yeah, it was gonna be ran by Team Ophidian too. Like it was gonna be 3 of us Ophidians going in, but unfortunately not. But yeah, otherwise shout outs for me. Shout out to my girlfriend Brooke, she's awesome. Shout out to everyone who always loans me cards, Lang, Kyle, TGG, also TGG Gaming, amazing local. You should check them out if you get the chance. There's also links for them in the description. But anyways, I guess we can just get into the deck now, unless you got anything else to say, Justin.
Nothing really, just like if you want to like talk about the deck as you go through the profile, that's fine. But if you have like questions, like ask me and I'll like
that's what I was
or
planning
if I totally like I should add something else, because like I've been playing the deck like way longer, so like
so know that, that's definitely why I wanted you here, because I literally played it for this tournament. So like
I got you.
All right. Anyways, we got 2 Tracer, 1 Recharger, 1 Rocket Synchron, and I guess to go with it, the Router and the Nocto. This is pretty standard, but like there's honestly sometimes with how we like play this deck where a 3rd Tracer might have been kind of nice, but like you don't need it, but you know what I mean though, Justin?
So okay, I can explain this. So the standard Tiding will plays 2 Synchron because 2 reasons. Synchron is heavily used because of quad to revive like we use the Chaos Ruler with the second Synchron to make a hot row with Savage. But in our deck, we don't play quad because it's like unnecessary. We play the deck like kind of flows differently. But the Rocket Engine is minimal. There's something else you guys should know. The deck plays 45 cards, and there's a reason.
yeah. Oh,
There's a reason.
I
There's a reason
hate
for
it.
that too. I know,
Yeah.
but trust me, like I
No,
did
I
like
know.
a ton
I
of
put
math
my
on the deck.
I put so much faith in Justin, and we just had to work it. But yeah, no, like I was just saying, like because there's a lot of times when you go like Saryuja Chaos Ruler, where like the third Tracer just to guarantee you see it to like guarantee like make your extra plays is really important. So I don't know. It's just one of those things, but like I know for space and consistency reasons, 2 is all that's needed. It's just unfortunate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but in order to fit 10 hand traps with the Remus engine, you because most standard Dragon lists play 9 or 9ish hand traps or so in 40, and like that's correct if you want to like try to see one. In this one, it's like 45. You play 10 and 45 if you want to see one. The deck's already like consistent enough. The only like blowout hand trap of the format is like Draw, but it's like if people are playing like decks that don't lose to Draw, like the best version of this deck, like Draw is not even like a blowout hand trap, so it's still kind of just a par. So the math is like fine, but anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, so for Dragunity engine, we got 3 Remus, 1 Phalanx, 1 Legatus. You really don't need more. This card's insane. Yeah. These cards make the deck what they are today. The Legatus is like the least impactful one, but like you still need it.
Yeah, Legatus makes Ramos as an extender, and it's a free special. So like Legatus is actually kind of nice because it can make fiber, because you can use the Phalanx from lands to make fiber with it, or you can just make Romulus with it. It's very nice. It's also a 4, so that comes up to you. Sometimes you want to do like
it actually did come up one time. Also, I didn't know this thing is like actually fat. It has 1800 attack. It actually came up for me to go for a game shot.
Its second effect is kind of nice too versus like Floodgatey
stuff. I literally just read that today and I was like, oh, but then it didn't come up after I read it.
Well, it came up for me before. Like it helps you out like there can be only one because he's a winged beast, which is nice. So he doesn't like conflict. So you can just go to Lance and get the other effect and then pop, and then and then the Lance will protect him from other trap cards too, which is kind of nice. But I don't know.
So
the last thing I want to add is that you have to play Phalanx in this version of the deck because it plays like Howling Cross does. Phalanx is one of the most important cards.
There's a very important reason why Phalanx is even better. We'll get into that in a minute. But before we get into that specific card, we got 3 Safer, 1 black, 1 white. Seeing black and white is a lot more important in this version of the deck, so I believe that's why you want to play 3 Safer, right?
Yes, and so Shu actually discussed this point very well in his deck that he has with the Fog Blades. Safer, it's a true 1-card like combo piece, right? Chamber wasn't. And like, well, this deck you don't even need Chamber at all, which is nice. But Safer actually comes up so much. Like people don't know. It's a lie. It could send itself on the there can only be 1. You can search for Levy if you really need to under its out. There can be only 1. Like it's a star that gets a black and white, and if for some way they break your board, it helps you grind. It's like the best normal summon in the deck. It's not even close. So you want to max out on it and then play black and white.
Yeah. So it was like the only thing I was like curious about at first, but like definitely like thinking about it more, it definitely makes sense to play the 3 Safer. So yeah, seeing that whenever you saw Safer in your hand, you were just like got a sense of relief of like, okay, I have like 3 extra plays I can do now. So and then the reason why this deck was super insane, DMZ and Dragon Buster. This card was like, holy shit. When I first saw this card, I was like, okay, cool, it makes Buster. But then in the realm of what this deck is, it's insane. Because you literally can use DMZ, because it's not a hard one to return. So you use DMZ to equip the Phalanx, summon the Phalanx, which also lets you like have a Dragunity to bring out Remus. And then if you just bring it back with Pisty, you can just use the effect again. And then you bring it back with Striker. You literally use it 3 times in a turn. Like, that shit's crazy.
Right, so one of the cards in this deck that regular Dragon doesn't play is Saryuja, because the only card that really hurts it is is Duel, right? So Saryuja is just nuts because, like you pointed out, that's why Lance is also broken in this deck because of Phalanx. When you LP out the DMZ, you can go DMZ equip Phalanx, unequip Phalanx. Then you can go Pisty, revive the DMZ, do it, and you can do it again unequip the Buster Sword if like you Needle Fibered it out, because fun fact, he's a tuner. So then your
Yep.
board will be like LP, DMZ, Pisty, Phalanx, and Buster Guy. Or you can not use like the DMZ to equip and unequip. If you have Remus in your grave, you can revive Remus there because you have Phalanx, which is a huge thing. And then you can use everything except the DMZ to make Saryuja. And then the cool thing about that, why that's really nice, is that your top is usually going to be Appaloosa at that point, so you make Saryuja below. And then, like, I'll go over, like, some of the combos in, like, other videos explaining it so you guys can kind of understand. For me, when I play, like, I try to Buster Lock and stuff that's not negates. So, you can actually Buster Lock onto Saryuja and then, like, have your negate. So then if they play stuff like Kaijus, like, if they Kaiju, the Buster Lock, they have to do with, like, the negates and stuff. But, so, yeah, Saryuja lets you filter your hand. It helps with, like, side deck stuff, too, and stuff. And, fun fact, because I just saw it in the chat. No, Dark Ruler does not make the Buster Lock full off. That's why the Sex Buster. It's kind of like the same thing with Unique Carrier. Yeah. Because it's being equipped by another card.
Let me tell you about the time where I got Dark Ruler Cosmic and still won today.
Oh my gosh. That's insane.
It was cancer. But
I've won games like that too, because it's still Dragon Link at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
You can, like, grind back. They have to, like, that's already like 2 cards in their hand. They have to have that are non-searchable to try to out it. They have to then play into the board, use their engine, and then you can't be able to grind back. Because like I said, like, if you didn't use boot first turn, because sometimes you don't need to, because you can just get the trace out of your hand with you just second effect, especially from the hand. You can just keep the Ravine in bar, and then you can go like Ravine to grab either like the follow-up play, and then use Remus, and then just do like a second set of combos. You can use Ravine and a dump for Levian or Safer if you're missing it. Like, Ravine in this deck is actually just as good as boot, like, to have on the field, not past turn, which is nice.
Yep. Yeah. Ravine is nice, but then for the random other dragons, it's very standard. Brotar, Levy, and Red MD. Red MD was like one of the things I always wanted to see off of the Saryuja or the Chaos Ruler. Like, this card literally would just finish your board and then guarantee you follow it for the next turn. So, like, I really like this card.
Yeah, oh yeah, Red MD is nuts. You don't need a Baby Metal, because 99% of the time you're LP summoning out DMZ Dragon.
Yeah, and I'd rather not use Black Metal as like my normal summon. The other normal summons have a lot more impact factor, so yeah. And then
it's also like, if you like open a dragon, it's like, think of it like the Link Cross deck, like I said. It's a combo because it makes Rhymeless on its own with another dragon, because you just banish the striker, provide the dragon you use, and you just make a Rhymeless that way.
Yep, of course. And then for the hand traps, we got 2 Ash, 3 Droll, 2 Nibiru, and 3 Gamma and Driver. So from my understanding is Droll is like kind of the most impactful, versatile one, and you want power hand traps, and then Gamma is just because we play a lot more ways to get Gamma before we, or to get stopped before we summon, so having Gamma guaranteed is a really good way to go about it, and then just, these are just nice, but don't have the room to max them.
Alright, so this is actually a fun thing I should explain. People at my locals are getting, like, smarter about, like, how my deck works, and if I start my play with Remus, they have to Droll, right? Because they're like, okay, if you open like Remus with Gamma, like, I'm losing this game anyway, but I have to do it. The reason being is, like, if they wait for me to like use my Ravine effect, and also I would generate like way too much advantage at that point, because I can easily get to because once I get the boot out of my deck as well, I can easily get to the DMZ and Buster Lock still, because you would have enough extenders to do that. Because people also forget, and this is one of the hugest reasons why people just didn't like the deck, I guess, they also forget, like, Romulus is a Dragunity monster, so he fits the requirement to revive Remus. So if you make Romulus, you can revive the Remus, and then you just need 1 extra dragon just to start comboing. So if you get Droll, then you can still like completely Buster Lock. So they know they have to Droll me there. Against the Tidying build, they don't get that luxury of playing the cards to force it. So if I was playing Tidying, I would still play Remus in my deck for the reasons I said. But that's the main reason why I told her to play through Droll, because if everybody's like playing regular Dragon Link, Droll is just so nice against that version of the deck. And it's also good against like Dogmatica decks, because a lot of decks that are doing fair things, they play Dogmatica Engine, Prosperity, and those kind of cards too, so it hurts them.
Yep. So yeah, I think this hand trap line was fine. Yeah, there was nothing else I really would have wanted. Otherwise, it would have been nice to have more, but there's just no room to do it, and I think this is perfectly fine.
And so 2 Ash and 2 No, that's the last thing, is that Nib and Ash are just like the best against like other board building decks. The hand traps are mainly for like Dragon Link and the Winda deck. That's why Nib is like that too.
Yeah, and like the thing is, Droll is just actually really versatile this format. So like it's not even bad to max out. And like we side the third Ash, so when you're playing like a power deck, you kind of want to have as powerful hand traps as you possibly can, and then focus on the other cards. But you still want versatility in your hand traps because they still can make a huge difference.
Exactly, and OCG actually has that logic a lot. They play a lot of doubles and singletons of hand traps, and at first, like, you know, people would say, oh, it's because the cross-side designator. But in lists that they don't have that, they don't play it unless with the cross-side designator. There's two reasons why. Like, Alicia's pointing out, you want a variety of hand traps in your hands. So, like, a hand like Nib Ash is better than a hand of, like, just double Nib against Dragon because like, you're usually just going to stop them that way. Because there is no blowout hand trap, with the exception of Droll, that's why you should play, like, doubles of those, and that's why it's supported that way. Like, if I was to play more hand traps, I'd play probably, like, 2 Ogre and like kind of like keep doing it like that. Okay.
There's a lot of thought that goes into these decks, and I'm really happy to have Justin here to, you know, really go through it, because it's just there's so much more I can't explain.
I did some like math, and trust me, when I first told Alyse the deck was 45 cards, she thought I was just crazy.
At first it was 43, and then Justin was like, okay, now we have to go to 45, and I'm like, Justin, you literally have spent 3 years of my life saying I always have to stick to 40, and now you're just gonna do this shit to me. However, I know if he says it, there's a good reason for it, and I don't like question it. I just complain. I'm like, I don't like this, you know. But
it's my actual name, Rempenga Nation.
We'll link it later.
I could do that like after, Okay.
Anyways,
so,
we'll get into the spells. So it's really simple: 3 Chaos Space, 3 Quick Launch, 3 Guard Dragon, only 2 Ravine, which I'm sure we'll get into in a second, the 1 Divine Lance, and 1 Boot Sector. So, this stuff right here is very standard. This,
the first 9, those are the best cards in the deck, and all those cards should be at 1. Those cards are all unfair. Quick Launch is like, accesses the Rocket Engine, does not even use a normal summon. Chaos Space is just like infinite plus essentially, because you can get to the baby white dragon, which is full combo, and also it sets up for Leviner as well, and also the free draw is nice. And then Royal Legacy is basically 2 dragons, and because it can like move the LP, and then you will have the arrows from the first one you make.
Imagine explaining Royal Legacy Guard Dragon, Justin.
Well, okay, so like Shu like explains like when I very first like learned about the deck, because when Shu won the UDS about it, I had like an extensive talk about it, and the way he would explain it to me is use those terms. It's like usually you need a way to 4 dragons to combo or like start at an extender, right? So if you open like a way to Romulus and extender, you'll have 4 dragons in that case, because Romulus is 2 dragons with 2 materials, and then Royal Legacy is a dragon, but it also moves. Okay, do you want to explain the Double Ravine or Lance, or do you want me to do it, or what?
I mean, the Lance is because like it's you need the Phalanx because it literally gets you all the extension you need to like, you know, fully combo and everything. Double Ravine because you play Remus, and if you like draw a Ravine, you still sometimes need a way to use your Remus, and a lot of the time there is turns where you do Double Ravine, but 3 is too much just because like it overclogs, and like you don't need it that much. Usually just the 2 uses are fine, and then like later on it's not really as vital or necessary, and I think 2 is like the perfect number, honestly. I mean, I don't know what else you want to add to it.
So okay, so it's a card that's accessible from your engine from Remus, and if you open Ravine, like opening multiple Ravines sucks because we don't play enough Dragunity monsters, but Ravine, if you open it, because people are so used just to using Ravine just to pitch, they forget like you can just add a Remus with it, and then you can use that Remus then to search for the second Ravine.
Yeah.
Then you would then your Romulus searches for the Lance. So the 2 Ravines comes up when you have to start your combo with Ravine, because you need to get to the other Ravine out your deck with a Remus. 3, you just, like I say, you just don't want to open it though. It's a clunky card because it's inherently a neg-1. The deck like starts off like slightly negging if you have to start your combo with Ravine, but you'll get to the infinite pluses because all the dragon cards themselves are just a +1. So that's why it's not. And Lance actually comes up in a lot of the combos because you equip the Phalanx, and then you get to make Needle Fiber into Apollo and stuff.
You literally need it to do all your plays. There are even times where I hard drew Lance where it was actually fine because I would just go search for a Ravine anyways, and like there are
Exactly, yeah.
even some instances where I had to like normal summon a Remus, equip the Divine Lance, special summon the Phalanx, and then go from there. It was the weirdest shit ever, but it like worked.
So on like the play you just described, where you have to go like Remus, got Lance, you can also just go like Remus pitch, search for Ravine, search for Legatus, special Legatus,
Yep.
Lance, summon out Phalanx. Then those two make fiber, and you can summon out Remus from your deck because it's a level 2 tuner.
Yep.
And then because you have Remus on the field, you can revive your Remus. So now the fiber gives you the 2 arrows, and then you can make LP and Pisty there for free. That's another cool thing about this deck. You don't have to do the play with like going into Striker Dragon again. You can just go straight into just going LP Pisty because we play the other Link too, which we'll get to in the extra deck.
Yep. Yeah, so that's
the
main deck.
Yeah, and then I'm only like gonna answer this one more at a time, but like the other Dragunities are not like as good because we have LP and TCG, so we don't need Mistleton and Glow. The combos that this deck does don't play those cards.
Yeah, the Glow and the other Dragunities, so yeah.
Alright, so we can get to the extra.
So 3 Striker, this is actually something I was pushing for because when I was doing like combos and stuff, we always found a way somehow to use up the 2, because there's only 2 originally, so we found a way to use up 2 really easily, and I was like, I feel like we just need it for like the just in case factor, and like I'm very glad we added back the 3rd, so.
But that originally I had to cut Gatorg for the 3rd Striker.
Yeah, and Gatorg, it was just not that impactful, honestly.
Alright, so the best way I can describe it is that the deck's every Dragon deck weakness is Droll. Gatorg is just a win more card, and you have to play 2 extra Garnets in your deck because you have to play Baby Raccoons up first to actually justify playing it. So just cutting it, and because you don't actually need it, it's just a win more card, I promise.
Yep.
And then it never really came up again for me past that. The only difference Gatorg adds to the deck is that it makes Remus and any 2 discards the full combo, and but without your normal summon. But with if you don't play Gator, because you'll have the Zephyros to bounce back the Ravine and do it again. But if you open any Dragon with Remus and 1 discard, it's still the same number of cards. And it's still full combo.
Yeah, it's really easy to get there, so it's not that big of a deal.
Alright.
And then these cards, we don't even know why they're still around. LP Pisty, duh.
Yeah.
Then we got, for Link 2s, we have Romulus. Hulk, thanks for this, by the way, Justin. I got it just in time. It looks so nice. Protector Whelp, which we actually use in this deck for its effect. Seal, which we barely ever summon. Yeah, every one of these, like, these 3 cards are literally so impactful. They like, this actually has an effect in your deck. This actually does something. Like,
so
Jesus.
It's ironic because that card is actually very nice for multiple reasons. So the first reason is that without using your Needle Fiber to summon out Buster Lock, it lets you Buster Lock through Droll as well because it could search. It's how you search for the Buster Lock, right? Second thing, it's a generic guy. You can use any 2 monsters to make it, and the third thing is a light. So you might be like, okay, what does it matter if it can make any 2 monsters? Well, sometimes you have to start your combo with either Hulky, and then you want to get it off instead of using the Striker Dragon on your Hulky. So you can just go straight make the Buster dude up top, and that's why I'm saying you don't need to use Striker Dragon in the beginning. You can go LP summon guy with Pisty, and then use those 2 with the Hulk to make him, and then those can turn into spares. You still need spares if you like if your hand was kind of weird and you wanted to make spares, and you had to use like Remus's effect early. Spares comes up to be in the extra monster zone instead of Appaloosa, and that's
it comes up, but it's not like you don't normally make it, and you make it in just very poor hands or when like just interruptions turns really weird. But it's not worth ever cutting. You still play this card enough to where you need to still play it. It's just compared to all the other cards in the extra deck, it actually looks weak when like you're thinking about how it normally is.
Yeah, because like I said, on average, you never summon spares your turn 1 unless you have to use it with it. But your hands are usually so good that you try to just summon Appaloosa to give you protection through Nib and to give you protection actual against Phantasmia too. So it's so weird because if you have the extender with the Romulus play, like I said, you just use Needle Fiber to summon out either the Protector or another Remus, and then you use Fiber and Rom to make Appaloosa. You can, if your hand's good enough, you can just go straight into Apollo, and then you don't even need to make Fiber. and then that punishes them too for not phantasming you. Like it's also like really nice.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing of why I think this deck is like really good. I would never Buster Lock if Alyse didn't exist because my deck is just weak to hand traps at that point. But because of that, it's why the deck's insane, and because you have so many layers, it's so easy to make her. And also, she's why I think the deck's like broken.
Speaking of Alyse, mommy, let's go.
Yeah.
And then we got Saryuja, which, like, oh my god, and then Borrelsword for all of our Link 4s. Yeah, I think we've talked about these cards a lot. Well, these cards. Borrelsword is Borrelsword, whatever. But yeah, these cards, like, they do so much for your deck. And they just add so many other layers that, like, the other Dragon deck doesn't have, and I don't know, it just, they do so much.
So Saryuja is also super funny. So if, like, you had Gamma and they just never did anything, you can do Saryuja for that Gamma. You can also Saryuja put back Boot Selector and search at the next turn, which I've done like a few times, because Saryuja can also just summon out the other dragon from hand. So that play is also like one of my favorite, because then you get to keep your Ravine on the field and don't have to use it. So then you could start your next play with just using Ravine first and then going for Boot afterwards. But Saryuja is also there to see side deck cards too. That comes up a lot.
And like one of the best things about Saryuja too is, like, for me at least, I drew Recharger a lot, and being able to put it back, oh my god, it felt so good. It made me not hate my life.
Yeah, it comes up a lot. It'll come back like duplicate extenders, like another War Legacy Guard Dragon and stuff like that. Like it's nice. And also like game 1, if you make it, you can like basically tailor your hand and search for Duel Ash. So let's say magically they like out your Buster Lock with like Dark Ruler Cosmic or so, you'll have the hand traps to like help protect you too.
Yeah. So yeah, this card's good. And then the 3 obvious synchros that everyone plays. Yeah. There's a lot of times, honestly, where I use these cards more than I go into this, just because I get to see more cards with this. But like usually with Saryuja, it's really easy to guarantee ways to go into like both these cards. So, but I like prioritizing this one just because I get to do this. But I don't know what you like to do.
It depends what I'm playing against. If I'm playing against dinos, like Savages is infinitely better.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
If I'm playing like against like a control deck, like Hot Red's better. It just depends, like also like post side, because against dinos, like I'm okay with just making Chaotic Ruler and Savage, because usually you can do that if you can make Hot Red, because you just want to see the Lancias. That was another card like we'll get into, right? So the things that I should mention is that there's no Term, there's no Gatorg in the deck because we don't play Glow, and then instead we put the 2 way better cards in, which are just Alyse and Needlefire. And that's, like I said, that's the main get away from
That's literally what Justin told me. He messaged me one day like, I broke Dragunity because these people don't play these 2 cards.
Yeah, seriously. That was literally like what did it.
Yeah.
I knew everybody like knew about like the DMZ combo, but they didn't understand the impact that Remus had with the deck, because being able to just go 5 summon out Remus and then revive Remus is just insane. I've had to do even sometimes where I just like normal the Nash and made 5 that way and did the combo that way. It comes up. Alright. So do you want to get to the side deck?
Side deck, yeah, we got 3 Lancia, 1 Ash, and I guess for the other going second cards would be Dark Ruler. And I guess we can throw Pankratops in there too, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people were asking me why I wasn't playing Contact C, but like all these cards just have more relevancy across more matchups, and especially like Lancia for Dino, and just like guaranteeing you shut down window decks, and then just Ash being versatile. I don't think you really have room to justify that, and I think these cards just do more overall in the long run.
I can actually explain all of that if you'd like. So ironically enough, like no, of like why we didn't play Contacting C. So,
okay.
So ironically enough, one of the decks, like the only deck that is so good against, like that is okay against this deck going second is Dinosaurs, because they can actually just crack the board with like Conductor and not have to use that. So if they open Dark Ruler and like combo, it's nice. That's another reason why Saryuja is nice, because you just want to draw into Ash Blossom. But yeah, that's why Lancia is so good, because Lancia hits so many things that aren't dragons. They're like okay against dragons, but they help you a lot versus like Tri-Brigade, Dinosaurs, good against like the Alyse deck, like you mentioned. But it being a light 2 is also broken. Like there's so many other things about it.
Yeah.
The only card like I wish I could have played 3 of was 3 Dark Ruler, because I'm also still afraid of like the bird deck and window, but there's like almost no space. But yeah.
Yeah, like there's a card. The last card in the side deck is the one I wish we could have played more of, but yeah, this it was fine. But then we got 2 Cosmic, 3 Lightning Storm. I'm pretty sure this was played just because, especially with you, how much you have to like discard cards and how much your cards are really impactful. You can't really afford to do it as much, so just the bullet factor was good enough. And yeah, I'm assuming that's what it is.
For Lightning Storm, yeah. Lightning Storm is just generically good against like back row decks. Your deck has so many layers in it that you can play through individual back row cards. But like Winda Yes is like kind of hurtful because you don't play Tiding, but you can like kind of grind with that deck naturally because you're playing dragons, and like you get to dump a lot more stuff in your grave because we play like way more ways to Ravine. You don't have to depend on Ronda, so usually you can like out tempo them. But decks that like just set up like floodgates are like really annoying, right? So like you just wanted just to play through the back row, and I've always thought that the card was good. If I was playing the Tiding deck, I'll play Twin because you have your inherent Alta Mind being Tiding, and that. But in this deck, Cosmic is like infinitely better because you already brought up the point. You neg away your hand a lot of times, Ravine. But going first, you want to have the outs to Mystic Mind. So Saryuja can like dig for your Cosmic later on, or you can use Cosmic going first. Cosmic trades with Schism. There's so many like positives with Cosmic. So yeah, like that's why I play Cosmic over, and that's why I told like Alyse to play Cosmic over Twin.
Well, like I was mainly just saying the Lightning Storm over the Twin.
Oh yeah. I just think Lightning Storm is way better.
Yeah, and then for the last 3 cards in the side deck, which are all going first cards, 1 Called By, 2 Anti-Spell. I wish we could have played 3, but like there's just no room. But like this card's insane. But you can dig for it, so like it's not so bad. But like it's just, it'd be nice to like fully guarantee that you can have it. You know what I mean?
So Call By is like one of the most broken Yu-Gi-Oh cards ever, and it's one of the cards that I wish I could main, and I don't understand how people never played more of it when it was at 3. Anti-spell, and you're like, why are you not just playing 1 anti-spell, 1 order? Well, you can't play order in this deck because order will turn off your own Buster Lock. So you play the 2 anti-spells. There's actually, you don't actually need 3 as you may think, because I did some like calculations on it, like on the average of cards that you get out your deck naturally past turn 1, and then when you start Yuja, the cards that you are gunning to see at that point, depending on the matchup, are usually the anti-spells, Called By, Cosmic, and like hand traps, right? You will see those cards past that, and even if you get Dark Ruler, you still are winning the game because they still also have to deal with the Buster Lock naturally, because Dark Ruler does not make it fall because it could be a TMZ. So yeah, but anti-spell is just a naturally good broken Yu-Gi-Oh card that you want to have in your deck. It's like we were always wanting that.
I like that card a lot. But anyways, that's gonna be it for the list. Anything else you'd like to say, Justin?
Yes, I'm finally happy that you played it. I'm happy that you got the top 4. I was really hoping you'd win. It was unfortunate you didn't. You told me like how you lost.
I didn't draw a single normal summonable dragon for 3 turns. Like, God, what can I do, right? Like, I tried.
Yeah. No, it happens. Like, and then, it's very unlikely, but it happens.
Yeah, and I lost round 1 to Ancient Warrior Eldlick. But then, you know, I just won out from there, and it worked out. And yeah, and I'm glad that the deck has been working well for you too. And like, yeah, we're able to just, you know, get this out here and at least like, you know.
Yeah, I can finally like make videos on the combos for the deck now. I've been like waiting because people. I didn't want to like reveal it because you were playing it in this. But yeah.
Imagine caring enough about some dumb bitch, but I really do appreciate it, obviously, Justin. And thank you so much.
The one change I might want to add is the Wizard Buster Lock, and I was telling
you were telling me about that before the event, and I was like, I was thinking about it, like, when you told me about it, I was like, I mean, I understand why, but the thing is, what are we putting in for it? And like,
so you put it in against dinos and you double.
Well, no. So what I'm saying is like, is it really gonna be that impactful? Thinking about like the realm of other cards we still have access to, and like Buster Locking still making it hard for them to effectively go for pill. So, like,
it depends. Like, it's something I want to test at least. But I know if you Wizard Lock them, they can't use Baby or Misk, and that's huge.
Yeah.
Like, that's their only engine ways of beating your deck. So that's why like you can actually do the play where you set up both the locks, and they cannot break that unless they open like Dark Ruler, Lightning Storm, or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
But...
and you can just equip them to like different guys too. Like it's whatever. But I gotta test it, like, cause I was trying to find out the best ways to beat dinos, like I said.
Yeah, and yeah, but yeah, that's about it. Appreciate you guys checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, if you're watching on my channel, make sure you do check out the one and only Justin Singh, aka Rampangu Nation. None of this would have been possible without him, and he's a mastermind between everything I do, or you know. So I really appreciate you checking him out on YouTube. I think you want to try and start Twitch streaming again, or
yeah, I'm trying to juggle a lot of time because like.
Yeah,
but
like, I'll leave all his links in the description. So yeah, make sure you check him out. This dude's a genius at this game. You should listen to him. But yeah, then make sure you check out my Twitch channel if you haven't already. We do stuff like this live every day. I don't go into 40-minute discussions with him, but like it's a lot of fun. You guys should check out the Twitch stream. I remote duel every day. It's just a lot of fun, a lot of chill shit. So would appreciate if you check out the stream. Anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'm glad that you have faith in me to play the deck.
I'm always, Justin, after all we've been through, don't act like I ain't gonna have some faith in you.
I know, it was just what I told you was 45 cards.
Listen,
You didn't want to play.
You're one of the few people who can tell me that kind of thing, and I'm just gonna say, okay, I get it, I'm not gonna like it, but like, please, like, I know you have to have good reasoning for it. It's just...
Yeah.
And it's all your fault. Just remember that. My feelings about going over 40 is literally your fault.
I know. It was just... I did a lot of math with the deck, and...
I know. And that's why I trust you. I always trust you when you do this kind of shit, but I'm still gonna give you a ton of shit for it. Alright. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.